Good morning, everyone, from sunny Melbourne. Wish I was up in Noosa like everyone else. Meteoric Resources, a bit of a change of pace from the last couple of presentations, a gold-focused exploration company with projects in Brazil and Australia. So let's jump in. The board and the directors here, I'll leave that up. You can see that on the ASX at any time, and we'll get on with the main game. So the company has been around since 2004, currently has about 5 million in cash at the end of last quarter. And as I said, two projects, one in Brazil and a new one in Australia. And you can see that on the back of COVID, we were very concerned about how we were going to manage our Brazilian project. And we looked to acquire an Australian project. The company had been, the share price, and like everyone else, had been hit really hard at the start of COVID. So we made a plan to get an Australian project. We picked up one in WA, and we've had great results from that project, and certainly on the market as well. So we've gone from just over 2 cents to around 6 cents now. You can see a bit of volatility in the share price recently. We believe that's related to the gold price, which has been extremely volatile in the last few weeks with the US election and everything else. But we are long-term believers in the gold price, and that's why we love the metal. So we have, as I said, two projects, one in Brazil, which we picked up in early 2019, and that has delivered some truly spectacular results last year. Now, I'm only going to gloss over that at this time. It's our ongoing project. And as I say, the Australian project is very new and very exciting. We're drilling it. Well, we've just finished drilling in Australia. We're continuing to drill in Brazil. So the Australian project is just outside of Halls Creek in the Halls Creek origin. A well-known, in fact, the first gold ever discovered in WA was at Halls Creek. And then subsequently, the activity moved down to Kalgoorlie, but Halls Creek has a long history of involvement in Australia's gold frontier. So let's move on to what we're doing at the Palm Springs project, and then specifically what we call the Butchers Creek open pit. So Butchers Creek was a gold mine. It was operating in the late 1990s, and people say, well, and ask yourself soon, why did this mine stop? There's clearly ore in the floor here. There's good ore immediately under the pit. Why is this not a mine? And the answer is that at that time, the gold price fell below 300 US, below 500 Australia dollars per ounce, and gold mines all around the world closed down. This mine was put on care and maintenance by the previous explorers, and really never got up and running again, despite the fact that the gold price is up 600% since that time. But it just was forgotten about. It sat in virtually a single person's, private individual's hands, and there's been no work done here on the main area, particularly at Butchers Creek, since 1997, which is when the mine closed down. There has been some work on some of the other projects which we've picked up in the area, such as what we call Golden Crown, which is a Northern Star resource that they produced about 2007, I think, their first ever resource. It's quite small, but pretty good grade, around 30,000 ounces at 3 grams. But we're going to look in at Butchers Creek. The Butchers Creek presents a unique opportunity for us because it's granted mining leases. So we've picked up 120 square kilometres in Halls Creek. It has 60 gold projects across it, small prospects, etc. But really the main work was done at Butchers Creek, and that's what I'll talk about today. So you can see here an aerial view. That's the abandoned pit, which is sat like that. You can see water in the bottom of the pit, and I'll come to that later. The white marks are previous drilling, so from way back in the 90s, and you can see there's virtually no drilling outside the pit. Particularly to the south there's only drilling, I think 5 holes outside the pit. The red dots are our new drilling. So this is a plan view looking down from straight above. So this is exactly the same view, but just in a more characteristic way that you'd be used to seeing it. So this represents the new drilling that we just did. So we've we've just completed a 26-hole program. We've reported the first 7 results, and we got some fantastic results, but there's another 21 odd still currently getting prepared and assayed, etc. And that will generate news flow for us over the next couple of months. So let me take you through the results that we just got. And I'm going to start in the north and working from the known, which is the old pit and the historic drilling and some of our new drilling, and move gradually south into the extension area that we have just completed. So this is our first section, and you can see here on the breakout diagram, section 1, and we just drilled 1 hole to test an idea. This gold deposit is confined to a single volcanic unit within what is effectively a sea of sediment. And so that's shown on all of the sections as green, and the historics, where there are any, are black with yellow traces where the gold is, and our new holes are blue with red traces. So you can see here we tested down on the western limb of this fold. We believe that the bulk of the mineralization on all of these sections is in the hinge of the fold, and you can see that that's already been mined out here in the historic pit. But again, even up here, this far north, you can see some amazing results from the historic drilling immediately under the pit. 2 meters at 7, 8 meters at 17, 15 meters at 3. Great opportunities to expand this pit and drive it down. And you must remember that this is on a granted mining lease. So there's our 1 hole. We'll just step to the south now. And our next section, now this contains none of our drilling. We had planned here to do some drilling underneath the pit, but we really couldn't find the right spots. So this is historic drilling, no new drilling. But again, you can see some great results, 68 meters at 2.5. And just so you're clear, you can see that is both the old pit, that's the open pit now in red, and the blue line represents what they planned to mine in 1991 and 1997 at a $500 gold price. You can imagine how much bigger and deeper this pit will go with the gold price as it currently stands. So all of that ore will come into play, we believe, as we progress our studies. We're going to move now south of the pit, and this is all pretty much new drilling. As I said before, there's only 5 holes south of the pit. So section 3 is on the left. That's 60 meters south of the pit. You can see the historic holes, 42 meters at 2.3. The good news is that our drilling, our new drilling, absolutely replicated that. So we've got intercepts like 56 meters at 2.7, 53 meters at 2.2, 15 meters at 2, 8 meters at 10, right in the hinge there. So there's some cracking results here. The next section, the section on your right, section 4, that's even further north. We only reported 1 hole in that section, but again, 45 meters at 2.5. These results are very consistent. There's not a lot of super high grade. There are some high grades in here, but mostly what we see is assays between sort of 1 and 5 grams of very consistent, thick, long runs, and averaging around 2.5, which was close to what the mined grade was when this was an operation. Perfect, again, perfect for open pit development. So we've had to finish our program this year. We did a great job to get up and started. We only picked up the project in July, and by September we were drilling. So, you know, an amazing turnaround, particularly given COVID and the fact that we couldn't travel to Western Australia. I'm actually based in Melbourne, so we had to recruit a Western Australian group and get up and run. So here are the opportunities for next year. We believe that there's extension to the west, and I showed that on section 1. So we believe that there's down dip extension to the west of pit. Clearly, under the pit is fantastically mineralized. And what I showed you before is that what they did in the late 90s was a pre-strip for us. There is ore sitting right in the floor of the pit and beneath the pit. Now, what we need to do early next year is to get the permits to pump this out and get in and do some drilling under the pit just to confirm exactly where that is. And we need the final survey of the pit so that we can we can reconcile the drilling versus where the pit is now. And then we've got the third opportunity, which is the drilling that we've just done. Okay, and these results will be coming out over the next couple of months, well, weeks and months, and we've released one set already. You can see that though, we already know, other than the results that we've just released, we hit visible gold in 3 of the cores that are yet to be released. And we documented that last week, some spectacular visible gold throughout the cores, including the southernmost hole that we drilled. And that's 350 metres south of the historic pit. So all in all, we believe in terms of that extension and what's under the pit, we're now looking at a strike length of over 700 metres. And I just want to tell you that that remains open. The last hole that we drilled on the furthest away section hit free gold and hit it in multiple places. So we're very excited by that opportunity. There's some great things here. You know, this project was never, no IP, and we know that there's a lot of sulfide associated with the mineralisation. So we're going to run an IP survey. We need to get in and dewater the pit, which we can do because it's mining leases, and we're just pumping to the tailings dam that's already there. So not a lot of approvals needed for that. The ore body is open to the south and the west. And on top of that, there's 60 other known gold occurrences across the project, some of which are quite large and have had soil sampling and rock chipping and have never been drilled. So we think there's an enormous upside to what we've acquired in Australia. Very briefly, I'm just going to zip on to Brazil. We acquired this project in 2019. We drilled some spectacular results. In fact, the second best drill hole on the ASX for gold last year was our first hole, 20 metres at 95 grams. Okay, we had some amazing results. We continued to deliver those results throughout last year's drilling program and even into this year's drilling program. Okay, 2.4 at 37, 14 at 10. We've also realised that there's a strong gold and copper system here as well. We believe that that's earlier and is potentially related to a porphyry copper at depth. And we're very excited by the opportunity. We think that now at JURUENA, there's an existing resource, okay? And that was done by Crusader in 2016, and we plan to update that resource. But you can see here, there's a high grade portion, okay? Around 1/2 ounce. It's only small at the moment, but we anticipate a significant update to that, which we'll start working on as soon as the drilling finishes. And then the Crentes stuff, which is lower grade, that's where the copper really is. But there's no estimate on the copper at this stage, and that's something else that we'll look to improve as we go forward. So we're anticipating a resource update in Q1 next year. We'll have continuing assay results. We have just commenced the deep IP survey. Now, I don't have any results yet, but what we're looking for here is a disseminated sulfide ore body below the bonanza grade gold ore bodies. We believe that the bonanza grade gold ore bodies are what we would call low sulfidation epithermal gold, and they are often related to porphyry copper deposits. And there's copper everywhere on surface here. We've got some great copper assays ourselves. 51 metres at 0.3. Just recently, we released 15 metres at 1.5. All of them have gold. So it's a gold copper thing. And if you look at what happens to a great gold copper discovery, you only have to look at the Lachlan Fold Belt of Australia. So we're going to do the IP survey looking for the porphyry. We're going to update the resource. And on the back of that, we believe that we'll update the scoping study that Crusader did back in 2016, which had some really positive results. Now, they didn't publish much of it because it was largely inferred mineralisation. So we've done a lot of our drilling has been to upgrade from inferred to indicated. And hopefully we'll be able to publish a lot more. Thank you, Amy. A lot more about the scoping study. So really consistent news flow from our company over the next few months. So I think you can anticipate great results coming. And again, you can see some of the stuff that we've just drilled, 14 metres at 10, 14 metres at 2.4 and 0.3 copper. Palm Springs, all those holes that we showed have gold in them. None of those results have reported yet. That will go through into December. We're planning for a really big 2021. We've got good cash in the bank. We've got a great team. We would love to invite you to join us on an exploration adventure across 2 great continents. We're excited by what